most busy observing much of your world, listening to souls who have come over to our world, to our side, from yours, of course, and listening very carefully to all that they have to say. And one comes to the conclusion, having done so, that most people in your world live with life almost in a box of unawareness of so much, more so than ever in the past.
Yes, we'd agree with that.
Whilst on earth, I would confess I myself, well, for want of a word, you would say, subscribed to a dogmatic belief to a point. I believed in my God. I believed there was a God. However, the absence of God from your world now, for many, even the absence of a higher mind, a higher evolved consciousness of types, call it what you want, God or whatever, but the absence of this, with so many, is most certainly evident at the time in which these souls come to our side. I do see a difference in people's minds, you understand? Because there is the absence of a faith in something greater. Whatever you may call it. I don't need to call it God, but something. A belief in some greater place, some greater being, a higher soul or mind. The absence of such is quite evident in many of the souls who come to our side these days. And with this in mind, it almost fascinates me as to what, therefore, do people of your world worship? Or, to put it more precisely, what exactly is it that people in your world are moved by for their moral guidance? If not God or higher awareness, some greater power of form of some kind, maybe not in form, physical form. Obviously not a man on a cloud in judgment. We know this. I almost tire of hearing mediums talk about God not being a man on a cloud, because he's not, of course. He's not a he, nor is he a man on a cloud, nor is he a woman on a cloud. But my point is, what is it, therefore, that people in your world not so much worship, but aspire to feel, aspire to be at one with? What is it, therefore, that people in your world blend to be at one with? If not God, if not a higher form of mind or intelligence or power or great energy, then what? What is it exactly that helps to set people's moral compass in your world? What is it that they look for when they seek comfort? Where do they look for it? And it's led me to understand that in your world today, the people of your world do not seek comfort so much as many seek attention. Therefore, they purposely seem to live now in a state of frustration, seeking attention, seeking for people to like them, demanding more attention, never quite at one with anything. And yet they use constantly your current medium of technological advancement, your computer, your phones. As I understand, they are now handheld devices in your hands.
Yes.
In which you can seek all the attention you require. Look at me, like me, admire me. You can spin a created facade of what and who you are through your own mind, your brain, but not your soul, because there is a greater detachment than ever between the brain and the higher, because there is little, amongst most people, there is such little connection with such. Such is their awareness detached. And I say awareness, you can't be fully detached from that which is. You understand? You can't be detached from it.
No.
But you can put your awareness of it so far away. In the essence that you're breathing oxygen right now, but you never stop to be aware of it. But you're never detached from it, whilst you're breathing, of course. So people are so incredibly detached from any higher power. Such is their awareness within these little boxes, these little devices. These technological wonders that you have. Now, I'm not against the technological wonders that you have. I think they're magnificent when used correctly. We've all heard the analogy time and time again of how a knife can kill or a knife can heal. We've all heard it. Use the knife correctly. You can redirect arteries within the body to send blood supply to places where it has failed. Or you can kill a man or woman with a knife. It can do good and it can do bad. So can your technology, of course. Now, I look at the minds of the souls. I refer to the minds, not the brains of. For they left their brains well and truly behind in your world when they came to ours. The brain is of no consequence in our world. It's of the mind and ultimately of the soul. But the mind and the brain work somewhat together in their time upon your world. So I look at their minds when they come over here, and I see a great damage that is being done, you see. With this technological advancement is the constant detachment from the quietness and the stillness where so much can be heard. You understand? There is no quietness and stillness when people are constantly in the habit of picking these devices up. They can't leave them alone. So the stillness, I know you're all guilty of this, of course.
Oh, totally.
You are all guilty of being a slave to some form of technology, whether it is the wireless or the television, the remote control that you pick up and flick for hours on end, or whether it is the mobile device. It matters not. They are all distractions in their own way, you understand. I say this with jest, of course, because they are, though. They are all distractions of some form. They are all there to distract you. But I particularly take offense at the way in which and the manner in which the technological advancements of these devices within your hands and your entire lives being seemingly displayed upon them, and how others seem to admire your picture as being you, or what you type must be you. It is so detaching, it is unbelievable. Now, when you're using it to share information and knowledge and wisdom, and let's be honest, in all cases, some knowledge and wisdom is quite the opposite, which gets shared. You must understand that.
Yes.
For
yeah.
common sense would tell you not everything that people tell you is the truth.
No.
It is their version, perhaps, of their truth,
Yeah.
but not necessarily the truth.
Yes.
So there is much misinformation shared, of course, but by and large, I admire how greater knowledge can be circulated, although I also would like to point out that in nature prior to technological advancement did have the capability for you to share information with one another without the need of a device. It was done through nature, and you still see remnants of this within your animal kingdom, of course, where they just know. And so did you once upon a time.
Yeah.
You did have your own internet, your own wireless device. It was your brain, and it was capable of doing exactly the same. But now technological advancement imitates nature itself. And here brings me to the point that I wish to discuss tonight, which is exactly what I just told you. Technological advancement imitating nature itself. Now, in your world right now, you are seeing a much larger leaning towards your technology.
Oh, yeah.
And your technology in time has advanced rapidly as the somewhat alien knowledge that has cascaded through has now started to break the surface. That which was once hidden is now on show. You look at your world now, you see much on show that was once hidden. Whether it is the abuse of your young children by those in higher power, or whether it is the manipulation of your very minds to behave wrongly, or such like by those once again in higher power. Now we stand on the precipice of a time, a new age, where your technological advancement is already and will be more and more imitating nature itself. You will see in the not all too distant future the artificial tree, the unliving tree that will create oxygen. It will do what a tree has done for millennia. But technologically, it will not be a tree, it will be artificial, doing the work of a tree. You understand?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You will see this come. You will see this happen. You will see the technological cross-pollination that was once done by birds and insects. You will see this happen in the future by artificial means.
Right.
Drones. Right.
You will, now remember what I just said.
Yeah.
You will see what the tree has done for millennia, done by artificial means. You will see what the insects have done for millennia by artificial means. You understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't sound good.
No, it does not. You will see all of this take place. You will see, let's move it a little step further, artificial doing what has happened naturally for millennia. And it doesn't end with trees. It doesn't end with insects. The next progression is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will see what has been done for millennia by you being done by artificial means. And it's happening now. But it will advance.
Robots.
Now you understand.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is the artificial intelligence of your world, and I will refer back shortly to the word artificial intelligence, because there are two errors in that phrase, artificial intelligence. Number one, it is not intelligent.
Yeah.
And number two, there is an aim to move beyond the term artificial, to make that word disappear. And I will return to this shortly. But what I want you to understand is that what you are seeing happen naturally is being eroded to make way for this.
Yeah.
You cannot, I'm going to be as blunt as I can be, but I need you to be seeing the bigger picture yourselves as I explain this. When I say you see the cross-pollination of plant life and food life, etc., done by insects for millennia, and then suddenly I tell you, you will see this change and be done robotically. But in order to create the need for such, you need to create a problem in the chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the bloody point?
Yeah.
So what you do is you bring about somewhat illegal, poisonous. And when I say illegal, I'm not talking from your point of view illegal. I'm talking from the higher point, illegal. Goes against what life should be.
Yeah.
Goes very much against the flow of life and what is right and wrong. You illegally murder entire species of insects whose job, soul, purpose and mission and design for the purpose within your world, its state of consciousness is to cross-pollinate, to help life flourish. You create a problem there. You murder it. You dispose of it. You remove it. By doing so, you make way for the excuse for the artificial cross-pollination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has already strangely been invented well in advance for this problem. We're not going to hurry to create this advancement. It's already there. Why is it already there if there was not already a plan to destroy
Yeah.
those vital insects that cross-pollinate, that help sustain your air, your plant life, your food?
Yeah.
But then why do you need food when we have a separate intention to feed you non-organic real food?
Yeah.
Now, let me move back to what I said a little bit before this. You will see the artificial tree. Now, when these words are heard to people in your world, when they hear my voice saying these words, you will probably laugh a little.
No.
You will probably mock somewhat my words. You'll probably mock my medium.
No.
The artificial tree. What nonsense, I hear them cry.
No.
You cannot create oxygen. Only a tree can do that. Well, I can assure you with assurance within your life, well within your life, you will see the artificial tree. Why would you need an artificial tree to create more oxygen if you didn't destroy them in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you need to destroy them if you are, as I describe, these people of your world, these higher powered people. You can't see my fingers making quotation marks when I say that. But I am, I assure you, within the darkness, you can trust me that I am making quotation marks. Higher
understand.
people,
Yeah.
higher powered people, quotation marks. These souls, they are creating an artificial tree to create oxygen, to do what the tree has done for millennia, whilst destroying your planet's trees. Why? Because then they are in sole control of the oxygen supply of your planet.
Yeah.
What power! Now, why do I speak of this? It's important that I speak of this because now is the time to talk of this. I've spoke about this in the past, Paul.
Yeah.
You will find a recording of one evening when Mike and Val visited here,
Right.
where we spoke about artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. You will find that recording. If you wish to refer back, you will find it. You're probably looking about 18 months ago now, but it is there.
Right.
It is there. I remember it well.
Okay.
Mike and I had a long chat about it. The point I'm making, why am I bringing this up? Because it is important for you to see the connection between what you think is a global problem and what is a man-made, artificially created problem to not bring about a natural solution, but to bring about an artificial solution to everything.
Yeah.
Why would you need? The question was asked so long ago when we were discussing the other matters of the last 3 or 4 years of your world.
Yeah.
Why would such a thing be done? Why do this? And I remember saying power and control is paramount.
Yeah.
Somebody then asked, well, where does that end? And I said, it doesn't. There is no limit. There is never, people who want power and control are never satisfied. They're hungry all the time. So it keeps going.
But
Why?
they can't win all the time.
I don't.
They can't win all the time.
They never win in the end, Cora.
No.
But you understand the need for power and the need for control is always hungry within them.
Yeah.
They can't lose that. It's there all the time. So no sooner have they controlled you all for 3 years of your lives, changed how you think, created fear where there should be no fear, had you paranoid, bowing and kneeling, raising your hands, banging pots and pans out of your windows. We watched you as you succumbed to their desires, as they wrapped their control up in a silver little bow and gave it to you to unwrap and be excited over. We watched, we've discussed, we've been there. But what is the need for all this? Where does it end? Oxygen. Oxygen. What greater control than the very air that you breathe?
Yeah.
Now I know this sounds and will sound, my friends, you are listening to my, I don't address you all in the room now. My friends listening to my words right now, wherever you are in time, you are probably laughing at what I have to say.
No.
But I assure you, my friends, there is no end to where these souls want to go with control. What greater control than the light of your planet, the sun? If you can control the sun's light, where it gets to, that is control, but there is no greater control than the air that you breathe. You can control the weather. You can control the sunlight itself, where it shines, where it doesn't, where a crop will grow. But ultimately that will be sorted out by the artificial growing of crops, which is almost upon you. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cross-pollination, the end to the bee, the bumblebee, the honeybee. The end of their life is coming because it is being done. They are being poisoned by the same people who attempt to control everything else. Once they control the cross-pollination, they control your food, your life, whether you live. Once they've got their hands on the power to control oxygen itself, but they wouldn't do that. So why are they chopping down trees in abundance everywhere, the whole planet over, whilst people sit and stare at their hand?
Yes, yes.
Explain. Because he who controls the oxygen of Earth controls Earth itself. There is no end, my friends, to their aim. Do you think that they control your health is enough? No, no. They must control everything and everyone. So let me come back now, my friends, to where we almost started. Let me bring this round in another little circle for you on the helter-skelter journey, but from a different viewpoint as always on the journey down the slide. Artificial cross-pollination, artificial oxygen. Well, it'll be real oxygen, I grant you that. It has to be. But it will lack the information that your trees inject into that oxygen. Now this is another step further for you all. And I know people will struggle with this also. Those souls listening to me now, you may be mocking me for this. I care not. Within all living things is information. Within all living matter, within all of it is energy. And that energy contains information. You breathe out carbon dioxide, for instance, and within that energy of the carbon dioxide, the energy that goes with it, flows information from you. It can't not, because it's been within you, you understand.
Yeah.
So energy travels out with it, and the tree absorbs it, as does the oceans and so much more. But let's stick with the tree for now, keeping it simple. The tree absorbs it, and it absorbs your information, and the tree learns from this. Then you find the tree excels the oxygen, and with it comes the information that you breathe in, information that is coming from sunlight, through your eyes, around you, and soaked up by your cells, information all around you from one another and all living beings, because you are all truly one, you understand.
Yeah.
When we say this, you are all one, we don't mean, we don't lie, it is true. But, you hurt one, you hurt another, yes, because you share the same information. You are living in a sea of information, which is also being destroyed and distorted by the constant bombardment of other artificial means of information. You call it your Wi-Fi's and your cellular devices are warping and distorting that. So you'll have artificial air that carries none of the information that came from the tree. Yes, it will be breathable. Yes, it will keep you alive, but it will not contain the information at an energetic level that the tree expels, in which the tree receives from you and all other living beings. So it will be an artificial form of oxygen.
Yeah.
To that extent, you understand.
Yeah.
So you'll have artificial oxygen from an artificial tree. You will have cross-pollination from artificial means to grow artificial food in an artificial world. And then that only leaves you. That leaves you. Now, I have no issue, you understand, with technological advancement when it works in your favor. Now, this is where, my friends, I want you to be very clear in what I'm saying. I am not seeing an issue with advancement in technology. I adore science. I still do. I love science. When it works for you and everybody, I adore science. Without it, many of you would not be in good health. Equally so, if people weren't setting about to make you ill, you wouldn't need half of the medication that you take. That is another point altogether.
Yeah.
We could debate that until the cows come home. Maybe one day the cows will stop coming home when these people have had their fix. But they will never end, so it ends with you. You're next. So, we're removing the trees to bring the artificial tree. We are removing the cross-pollinating insects to bring in artificial. We are removing organic food, or as we called it in my time, food.
Yes.
Just food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in your case, and speaking in the language of your times, we remove our organic food to bring about artificial food. So, my friends, in order to bring about the artificial means and work that you would do, then would it not be right to assume they need to remove you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they're doing that, aren't they?
No, all empires were built by people in a state of slavery, whether they knew it or not. Those who were born into the slavery did not know they were in slavery as such. They had an awareness that they were pressed down upon. But they didn't necessarily see themselves as slaves, not like those who were taken to be a slave. And there lies the problem in your world. The explosion of birth in this recent times means there's a lot of people born into a state of almost slave to the device in their hands, you understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you killed the tree to bring about the artificial tree. You killed the insects to bring about the artificial means of cross-pollination. And you need to dispose perhaps of a certain amount of people from your planet to bring about the artificial means of human life. Now, let me just bring this into your conscious awareness now, my friends. As I speak to you from my vantage point, the plan to destroy an amount of people in your world is already well underway. We've been discussing it for the last 3 years of your time on planet Earth. So let us be fully aware that is, if you look at the tree and you look at the insects and you look at the organic food, as you call it, and the removal of it, the removal of these things, does it not ring alarm bells for yourselves? Can you not see it for what it is? Can you not see how you are next? I'm speaking mostly to the people listening to my words now.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether it's near in the future or further ahead.
Monty, let me just interject here a
Yes.
bit, because I want the people that will be listening to this
Yes.
around the world or wherever, let me just say what the date is. At the moment, today's date is the 30th of May in the year of 2023.
Absolutely.
That's just for people listening.
Absolutely. And if you look a little further back, Paul, you will find in 2022 this discussion was taking place.
Right? Yeah.
But now I feel then there was a relevance to Mike's question. It was relevant. It was a question that needed to be asked. He was right to ask it, and I gave the answer. But now it is paramount importance that it is relevant now.
Yeah.
More so now. It is important. Because what you are now seeing, my friends, is the change which is going to come. Now, of course, all slaves built the empire. All empires required their slaves, you understand.
Yeah.
They needed the amount of slaves relevant to that empire. But the new empire that's being built doesn't quite need as many slaves, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
You've served your purpose. It is simple as that. Many people in the eyes, now let me tell you this, these words may be coming from our side, but don't get me wrong, I don't agree with it. This is why I'm bringing the matter to your awareness. I don't agree with it. Of course, why would I? But many souls in the eyes of these people that I speak of, who seemingly hold higher office, these people see a vast amount of the number of people on your planet. They see you as slaves, or there for their use, and you are about to become surplus to requirement. You understand?
Yeah.
So a great number of people will and are leaving your planet gradually over the coming years before, well, you could argue not before their time, because decisions, all actions have consequences. So they will be leaving at the right time, given actions and the consequences connected with them, you understand?
Okay.
But nonetheless, they are leaving sooner than they could have done. That is the point. That leaves an amount of people left eventually, within the coming 20 years or so, to fulfill the artificial human prophecy. When I say the prophecy, it's the prophecy I'm telling you now, I suppose, if you look at it that way. Now, what I'm trying to put across to you here, and ask you to consider this, think of this. So you remove enough people and you're left with a number of people on your earth and the technological advances, so-called, for these jobs that humanity did to be done by artificial means, like the cross-pollination and the tree, etc. Artificial means, you understand?
Yeah.
But it will always be artificial. I told Mike this 18 months ago, whenever it was.
Right.
I said it will always be artificial. It has to be artificial. I mean, it's learning, and it will mimic you. It will mimic you very well. You will hold a conversation with it perfectly. It will seem real. It will talk, two-way conversation, by word, by joke. It will be the cure for all the lonely people left on earth.
Mm.
It will all have a friend for life, but it is only mimicking, you understand.
Yes.
It can only impersonate, won't have a soul. It won't be conscious.
Yeah.
It will imitate what a conscious person may be, but it can't have consciousness. However, my concern is when the two are blended together. When advancement reaches a point where they try to blend the human and the technological imitation of a human together. Because at this point, you will have the consciousness of humanity, and you will have the robot, artificial, non-intelligence. Let me emphasize that, non-intelligence.
Yeah.
It's not intelligent because it's not consciousness. But once you blend the two together, one can hijack the other. It itself will never be consciousness, but it can manipulate and borrow that of the human soul for its own needs, to imitate what consciousness is, to imitate what a truly conscious being is. We are talking less than 2 decades away, my friends, give and take. Now, this warning of your plants, your trees, your wildlife, insects, entire species that are so important for your world are being destroyed not by you, but by these greedy people who have an itch that will never stop needing to be scratched, and it's called control.
Yeah.
They will eventually control the oxygen on Earth, the light, the weather. They will eventually control your minds, and to some extent are, as I see from those souls who cross over, which is what I told you at the start.
Yeah.
You look at their minds when they come across, I'm telling you, they are affected. We change that in time. We love them, we help them, they develop and they grow over here with us. In a world where the insanity has not taken control and cannot, because the balance cannot be shook. You can't get that unbalance in our world because it's not there. In the same manner, it's not there to be affected like it is in yours. But we are talking artificial humanity. Without, I must stress, with the humanity bit removed pretty much. So we're talking artificial altogether.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, no, doesn't exist. Artificial humanity doesn't exist. I'm sorry. There is humanity, there is intelligence, consciousness, and then there is this other monstrosity that is being planned to be brought in. I stress again, I have no issues whatsoever, my friends, with technological advancement. I have no issues with things that will make your life easier, that will do work for you, providing it is of good, doesn't harm or take away the full balance of everything. No issues with that. It is human nature to advance and improve and to have fun. To have fun in the process of doing so. How often have you seen an invention that someone showed you and you've laughed and thought that's wonderful, clever, wonderful minds? No issue with it whatsoever, my friends. No issues whatsoever. But what is coming to control the air, the oxygen, the weather, the light? The man who controls all, there is a fight to control as much of that as possible. And then to bring about, to kill in the means the very things that are required to justify bringing it about. Equally, killing off enough people to justify bringing about the artificial robot, for want of a word. The robot humanoid, call it what you want. And it will advance, and it will mimic, and you are teaching it as you speak. Your phone devices, they listen, and they learn to formulate, debate, question, but it's not intelligent. Yes, it may be imitating what the brain does, but it lacks consciousness. But it knows it needs consciousness in order to be better. So it will try and eventually blend with the human form, so as to hijack the human aspect of consciousness. It will never have it. It will never be its own consciousness. That's not possible, because it has none. It is artificial, neither intelligent nor human. but it can hijack and blend and try to impersonate the human aspect of consciousness by blending with the human body. You are just a matter of decades away from such. You're on the, as I said, you're on the precipice now of this time.
So what can we do to
What can you
prevent
do?
it?
Well, what can you do to prevent it? That is the question. What can you do? This is going to be humanity's biggest obstacle.
Mm.
This is bigger than injections in your arm. This is bigger and greater than the death tolls of people crossing into our... I am only so aware of how you are in your world now by the sheer number of people who have come to my world in recent times, not because they had a cold or some mystery virus, but because they had an injection in their arm and they had a bad reaction. Or they had the necessary reaction, as was designed for so many. But my point, but I must stress, not everybody is going to die from that injection, because it can't work that way, because people are still required. Just now, people are still required, just not so many.
Yeah.
And lots of money still needs to be earned from the medication that they're going to give you. It's a great financial incentive. You don't want to get rid of you all, because you are all financial incentives to the pharmaceutical giants of your world, who also, many people, kneel daily and take their fix because they've been put onto this. So, you know, if you've had injections and you know people who've had them, you shouldn't live in total fear of this, that it's coming to get you. Not necessarily the case, because you understand. Not everybody needs to be vanishing too quickly now.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it too obvious. But the great concern for the future, and this is a concern, should concern you all, is this artificial form. You may say, well, why does it bother me? I won't be here to see it, perhaps. Or better still, some of you in this room may see the early stages of it. The early stages will be wonderful. Trust me, it will be technology that will be helping you. You will love it, and you will, because it will be useful. Like your internet was useful. Like your mobile phone was always useful. But now it consumes you.
Yeah.
It's gone beyond fun and useful, safe, convenient, exciting, entertaining, life-saving, vital, needed, can't put it down, consuming, all-consuming. And that is the natural progression. So you will see care given by artificial means. Care. You will see elderly people, and I assure you, chatting with devices in their homes to stave off loneliness. And they will be in-depth, clear conversations. You will barely recognize that they are artificial. Such imitation. It will be so wonderfully good at imitating. And this will be wonderful for a time for your elderly, your lonely, people who don't have souls around them. My friend, I talk on to this device, it chats back, we have full conversations. It's wonderful. I don't feel lonely anymore. Who could argue with this? Who could argue with that? There is technology doing wonders, but it is only a stepping stone to when it becomes all-consuming. And my concern, my friends, is all-consuming, is when it starts to consume your consciousness, to imitate, to latch on to it, to behave as conscious. It never will be, but to imitate it to its highest degree. I say this because Mike will be listening saying, well, you told me it can't be conscious. And of course I did 2 years, 18 months ago, 2 years, whenever that was. And I stand by those words. But the future is the imitation of consciousness through latching on to yours by blending technology and humanity as one. Now that is a concern for you all. You can take the attitude that it doesn't affect me because I'll be out of this world. It will affect you. It will affect you in the same way as when I greet these souls coming over to our side right now, and I meet them and they are in awe of where they have arrived. They are amazed at what they see before them. When they feel the energy of our world for the first time as they acclimatize to this new environment. And I hear them say, well, I never believed in God, or I'm an atheist, or whatever ist they throw at. And I say, well, none of that really matters here, because there is only one, call it what you like, God, whatever, but it is consciousness, ultimately, the energy that animates you all, your plants, your animals, your pets. It's consciousness. Keeps you walking upright, keeps you alive, keeps you here. God, if you want to give God a new name, it is consciousness. Consciousness that spreads out across all that is and can be, across all the universes, across all the states of reality, permeates all the frequencies of life that beyond yours and beyond mine. Consciousness is there, ever present.
Well, what, Monty, is the future of the world?
The future of the world is whatever you allow these people to get away with.
Well, surely that's not...
And it is the future. The future of your world is also what control you all take back from these same people. On one hand, they take their decision to where they want to go. And on the other hand, you retain your power. You all, listening to my words, take back your power now, whilst you can, whilst you are you, whilst your consciousness is not affected. Because in my world, one day, if you don't, the souls that you will help to our world as they come across will have lived a time on a planet where they didn't fulfill their potential because they were merely the vehicle for an artificial creation to hijack, to borrow.
Not us. Not us.
You will have been the energetic consciousness for a robot until your consciousness returns back to our world. That is one possible future. I say one possible future. You want answers. You want to know how to solve the problem. Take back your control. I will parrot that. I will parrot those words. I will point out the problems, and the problem always remains the same. The ignorance that humanity is falling into is a deep abyss from which it will struggle to crawl out from.
Right.
The version of the future depends on your actions, and I can't tell you which ones they will be. I can assure you that none of you will escape this. You may have left your world. You may say, well, it doesn't bother me. Thank God I'm where I am. But when one day you are in my side of life and we are together, and your job is to help souls to come over, and you greet them, and you see the undeveloped, unexpressed consciousness, because it didn't live its life through human form, but lived its life as a semi-human form hijacked by an artificial form, spliced together, never achieving its potential, then that affects us all, my friends. That affects you, it affects me, it affects people in our side of life who don't want to see this take place, and more importantly, it affects your children and your grandchildren of the future.
Transhumanism.
You may call it what you wish.
Well, the government, it's on their website.
So, my friends, if it's there in front of you, then you need to decide, what are you going to do? So, to those people listening to my words now, on this day, or whether you're hearing my words previous, whatever, you need to see the patterns that are unfolding. Kill trees to create the fake tree. Kill insects that cross-pollinate to create and introduce the fake cross-pollinators. Destroy food. You call it organic food, but natural food to bring about fake food. Kill humans on mass numbers to bring about fake human, and hijack the air that you breathe, hijack the weather, the light that grows your food, and hijack the consciousness that is you. These people want to control everything. I told you some time ago, it's not over.
Yes, yeah, you did.
We're aware.
And I didn't mean necessarily injections and what have you. It's not over, is all I told you. There is more to come. You're having a quiet moment on the road. But I'm telling you these words now, because when the time comes, you'll be glad you heard these words now. Because when these words go out, they will shock people. People will laugh and ridicule. People will mock. But eventually, people, those who mock, those who ridicule, those people will hang their head in shame. Some of them may even remember what they said and feel quite sad. But now is the time that these words need to be heard. That is why I'm speaking them.
Right.
18 months ago, for our friend Mike, he got a necessary explanation which was in keeping, but now is the time that these words must be heard.
Yeah.
So, my friends, let me leave that with you. Think hard on this. Because the future of your planet, once again, remember what I told you years ago. I told you great upheaval would come, and it is. Never lose sight, though, when I tell you this, when I tell you what seems so dark, and then it happens, like your last 3 years, and it happens. I only tell you this because there is a light and a love and a joy and a beautiful future for your world when you all in this room and outside of this room and all over your world, when you choose to grasp it, there is a most beautiful future. There is a most remarkable awakening of mind, consciousness and soul coming together. The possibilities are remarkable. So when I tell you of this seemingly dark, glum, uninspiring future, it's because it is one possible outcome. There is this other magnificent outcome to be obtained. There is this most vibrant, wonderful future to be held when you choose to take it. My friends, grasp it with both hands. Be the good that your world needs right now. Be the love that your world and people in your world need right now. People who are in good condition, yes, they need your love, but people who are at the bottom need your love more. People who are broken, children who are seemingly off the rails need your love more right now. Change your world before these other buggers do it for you. Grasp it and watch a new dawn of love. Watch the sun rise on a new empire, a human consciousness developed to full scale. That is the future that awaits you, or this other one. I warn you of the other one, because without it you won't go running for the better. Go for gold, my friends. Go for gold all the time. So, I leave you with those words. I leave you all listening with those words. Now the decision is yours as to whether you one day reflect back with regret or you grasp with both hands. Go for gold, my friends. And with that, I hope tomorrow, and now even, but tomorrow, I know how human minds think. I'm still very much human myself. Tomorrow will do just nicely, my friends. Tomorrow, go forward with love, with great optimism that the future that I've just described to you will not unfold. Because you will prevail. You must prevail. And that golden sunrise over a new human empire, where you are all together as one, can be done and can be achieved. Nothing is lost, my friends. So continue on. And with that said, I shall bid you all a good night and a very good time ahead of you all.
Thank
Be
you.
positive, my friends. Good night.
You.
No, no.
Thank you,
Thank
Monty.
you.
Good night.
Thank you.